welcome to Active Citizens Parliament. My name is Sharon Edemchuku, and I'm joined in the studio by my co-host Ifoma Oji. Good evening, how are you doing?
Good evening, Sharon.
Welcome to the studio again.
Thank you.
Also joining us live in the studio, we have our guest, Mr. Ugochukwu Afuba. Good evening, how are you doing?
Good evening, I'm fine.
I like that you're gradually becoming a regular on the show. All right, we're going straight to today's topics. First, two major developments shaking the nation: a brazen attack on an advanced team belonging to Abia State Governor Alex Oti. And separately, we move over to the last story for this evening: the bold security shake-up by President Bola Ahmed Tinubu nominating a former military chief as the new Minister of Defense. And I think we're going to start first of all with this new nomination, because just this morning we talked about the suspension of the now former Minister of Defense, and we speculated that this was prompted or engineered by the president himself because he wants to put the right people in the right positions. And we also saw that before that there was a closed door meeting with him, and then now and the proposed Minister of Defense, and people speculated that he might be the next minister. But let's take it again from that, from this morning where we saw the resignation of the former Minister of Defense to now a new nomination. Ifoma.
Okay, I think congratulations are in order for him. And I remember in the morning when we were having this conversation, I mentioned the fact that the now former Minister of Defense was actually, it was scripted, it was planned that he is going to leave office and for a different person to occupy that particular position. And it's as if to a very large extent he has been incompetent in the position that he was led, or he was supposed to occupy, or he occupied rather. And then we're seeing the swift appointment of a new minister. That's very nice. I've seen most of his videos online. I've seen his interview with Al Jazeera where they were talking about insecurity and how he lent his voice. I've seen when he talked about how porous our borders are and the need to fence our borders, that countries like Pakistan and the rest are focusing on fencing their borders. So the need for our borders to be protected. And then I've seen videos where he was robustly commanding his his officers, the armed officers, on giving them orders. I would rather say that. And he was telling them that I'm giving you orders right now. Do not say nobody gave you orders, that you are meant to protect people. If you are you find a situation, you're in a situation whereby you cannot seek for help, that you are in a situation to fire. If you are to protect a community and you see that the community are endangered, you are in a situation to protect that family and that community, and make that community actually know that you are there to protect them and not to infringe on their rights. And if their rights are being infringed, that those armed officers are going to be court-martialed. So I've seen most of his videos talking about insecurity and talking about how to strengthen security in the state. And I think to a very large extent, though I've seen some of his interviews that we are quite, I feel is quite concerning. There was this particular interview that he granted. He said that there are two, in his own opinion, that there are two issues when Benue State was having constant and consistent attacks. He stated that in his own view that the reason why these people are having this dispute, having this constant attack, is that there are two things, or rather three things. That one is community or land dispute. Number three is farmer header clash. So, but I find it quite concerning because of the fact that I felt like as the chief of defense that he's supposed to have first-hand information as regards insecurity in the land, and he's saying in my own view, he wasn't supposed to use that word. But at the same time, I've seen, places or areas where he actually took the initiative or to strengthen security in the state. So I think maybe he's the best man for the job.
All right, now just in summary to everything you just said, Ugochukwu, I'm just going to say we are seeing that he won the Colin Powell Award for Soldiering in 2012. And, do you think that with this new change now, that there would be a difference? And do you think personally that he's the best man for this job?
Well, I can't say personally, but his previous records have shown that he is capable of the job. And considering also the issue Nigeria is facing now, Nigeria is as though you can say that they are the crossroads because things are very bad, insecurity, the insurgency, it's so high and disturbing, one cannot even be at peace. Just last month, we saw the death of a brigadier general, and all this raises so much concern about the security level of our country. And about the renowned former defense minister, I think we have seen that he was incapable of doing the job. And I don't know if they had any other issue at the behind the scenes, because whenever we see a public officer to come out and resign and give health reasons, know that there have been something else. Health reason, it's now something we know they use whenever there is an issue. So since he is out, whatever the reason may be, we are looking forward to see the new defense minister now, strategize properly, not all these kinetic and non-kinetic approach they are using. We want to see them coming guns a-blazing, securing Nigeria by all means possible.
All right. Also another question to that is, I'm asking, with the president coming out to make changes such as, getting a new minister for defense, which is a very sensitive position, do you think that this is going to affect other security agencies like the police force, civil defense, just other security at large?
Yeah, obviously it would, because all these other forces and arms, they are still under the security force. Their primary job is to secure the lives and property of the Nigerian people. So changing from the top of it, the defense minister, it's somehow indirectly or indirectly affects every other security position. And I hope that these people, that they work well with the new defense minister so that they can be able to get their job done. Despite the fact that I always criticize Tinubu and his administration, it does not mean I do not want to see them succeed, because if they succeed, Nigeria is going to do well. And so that's what I think.
I get that. So at the end of the day, we need a collaborative effort from all security agencies on all fronts. Now, with this new minister, he has not yet been approved, but there is high
we know he will
exactly
be approved.
That he would be approved. Now, with this new Minister of Defense going forward, let's take a look at what changes do you want to see as soon as he assumes office, Ifoma?
Okay, as someone that has been in the what's it called, in the institution for almost 33 years, if I'm not mistaken, I believe he has the right expertise, he has the professionalism. So I'm looking forward to seeing, fresh strategies, and even if it is possible to equally employ old strategies, so long as it's going to cut insecurity. So I'm really grateful to those, like I said, in the morning that we have in the morning show, that I'm looking forward to see lesser or at all, not I don't want to see any form of kidnapping or abduction of students from school, or attacks in churches and these farmer header clashes and the rest of them. I believe that he will utilize this particular opportunity given to him, even though a lot of people kind of question the reason why he was removed from office the other time that he was removed. But I love the fact that he is going to become the new defense minister, and I believe that he will, deliver in his job, just like I said earlier.
All right, now I'm asking this question both to Mr. Ugochukwu and to you, but I'm starting first with Mr. Ugo. The non-kinetic approach. So in Nigeria, right, fighting, combating security, there are two different approaches that they can use. The non-kinetic, which is just trying to use peace and being calm and trying to dialogue and negotiate, really. That's what it looks like. But the kinetic approach is using force and just making sure that what needs to be done gets done. But for the longest, the Nigerian security institution has used the non-kinetic approach, and we're from the stance formerly of the, defense, former, chief of staff, defense staff now coming in as the Minister of Defense. Do you think that approach, the non-kinetic approach, will still continue?
I do not know, I do not live in his mind, but as a Nigerian, we have seen them use this non-kinetic approach, and it has proven to be worthless and not able, it does not solve our problems, the problems we have in Nigeria as a country. It only empowers these bandits and these evil people who attack Nigeria. It only gives them the confidence, oh, okay, these people, they are dialoguing with us. It makes them feel confident that they have, they are actually worth something. They are important. The government needs us. They are asking us. They are negotiating with us. That's what it means. And recently, we've seen them. The amount they are putting at the for their ransom, it is outrageous. It is so high, and I don't even know. After getting that money once, if I were a kidnapper, I would stop. I've watched Ifoma time and time again suggest that other people might be involved in this thing, because all those people, what are they doing in the forest with 300 million after someone has paid such a... It's not clear. It's not clear at all. It is possible that there are other forces behind who are, pushing this insecurity we have, particularly kidnapping, because after taking all that ransom, it's not reflecting in their body. Or is there any other thing they are doing with the money?
The machineries, the equipment that they're getting, they're investing back into their business.
So that is their cost. Kidnapping and recycling. Doesn't make sense.
All right, I'm also asking the same question. Let's take a look at the non-kinetic approach, Ifoma, that the government, the security agencies has employed for the longest in Nigeria.
I remember when we talked about this non-kinetic approach, I said that it's clear that it's not working. So something that you've tried to see if you will curb insecurity, it's not working, and you're still head-bent on continuing in that same approach. Does it make sense? It doesn't make sense. But like I said earlier, I believe that this new defense minister, I've seen most of his videos. I've seen videos where he was trying to advocate for his fellow military officers on how much they are being paid. I've seen videos where he was concerned or talking about insecurity in Nigeria. So I could say that from his speeches or from his different utterances, you could see that to an extent he's actually a man of action, but at the same time we really want to see works. But at the same time, I believe that if he was reinstated, when he was working, insecurity was not as worse as it is as a date, you understand? So I believe that maybe there's possibility that maybe he is ready to employ all the machineries to work on insecurity in Nigeria. All
right, we just saw the resignation of the Minister of Defense earlier today, and I asked this question in Morning Pulse, but I'm going to ask you again, Mr. Ugochukwu. Do you foresee any more resignation, especially when it concerns our security institutions?
Well, if you say especially when it concerns our security institutions, then I feel that there should be more resignations, because we've seen the people who are there in positions of high positions to protect our country, that they have failed, starting from the commander, that is the president himself.
Okay, the commander, he should even resign.
Yes, if we are seeing resignations of people who have failed in securing our country, he is the #1 person that should resign. People should learn from him, others, that we need to prioritize the security of our country. It cannot be overemphasized, the need for security in this country. During over the past weeks, when they were all talking about a sovereign nation, and Nigeria is a sovereign country, are you a sovereign nation when you cannot guarantee the security of your citizens? People, some of these bandits are not even Nigeria, they are from some of these Islamist states.
Nations.
Some of them are extremist Islamists from different groups, ISWAP, ISIS, and many of them. These people are coming in and they are ravaging our country, and yet you are still boasting of sovereignty. You are not boasting of sovereignty, you are saying that you are a sovereign nation. But then internally you are not. There are lots of problems everywhere. So if we are talking about resignations, the president should first take the lead. It should make others
That I like that you're saying exactly what is on your mind.
That is how I feel.
Okay.
Well, it's exactly what
Okay.
the president. The president
Alright.
mentioned it one time when he was campaigning for the position of presidency. I remember the electricity. He said, if
That was just
in
what I
one
wanted to
yes
say
that
now.
you don't have electricity,
That
do
we
not
should
vote
not
for
vote
me.
for the
That is
president.
number one. And number two, I remember in 2014, if I'm not mistaken, he was kind of talking to Goodluck's administration and was like, are you not seeing the way insecurity is ravaging Nigeria? If by all means, if you cannot protect the lives of people that you are meant to protect, resign.
All
You
right.
understand? So
I
it's the
like
same thing that we are
everybody
telling him
has
now.
a retentive memory, and we can all look back, and also the fact that the internet never forgets as well. So we should be looking forward to more resignation, especially for people who are occupying sensitive positions as it concerns our security. Talking about increasing insecurity, we have to move over quickly to what happened to Abia State Governor in Imo State. Now, his advance team from the office of the Abia State Governor, Dr. Alex Oti, was ambushed by unidentified gunmen near Sam Mbakwe Airport in Imo State in the early hours of Tuesday, December 2nd. That is actually today. And this incident, when it occurred and when it came out in public, it got a lot of people talking, really. Now, we also saw that particular ambush, Mr. Governor was not in that convoy at all, and we had some police officers as well that were shot at in the course of that crossfire. But generally, a lot of people have different things to say. And just seeing that, just yesterday we talked about the fact that the Abia State Governor went to Sokoto to visit Mazin and Kanu, and that was the reason he was in the news. Now we're seeing after Chris Ngige was attacked in Anambra, we are seeing a futile attack on Abia State Governor. But I will have your take on that, Ifoma.
Okay, first of all, let me just speak like a Nigerian. I beg, make nothing happen to Governor Oti. And then moving on to the conversation or the topic. There are two things here that I would say are involved. It's either insecurity is spreading voraciously to other states. We know most definitely that it's quite dominant in the northern states, but we are seeing unknown gunmen in eastern part of Nigeria, and it's kind of becoming a norm these days. This is number one. And then number two, we've seen Alex Oti do a lot of remarkable and outstanding work in Abia State, and that could actually stand as a threat to opposition parties. So, and in a situation whereby you have a lot of fishes and one fish is doing outstandingly well, a lot of people might actually come together to gang up against him and oust him, or rather terminate him. We've seen the likes of that over the years, where they terminated somebody's life before because he was doing his due diligence, you understand. Then another thing is, I remember when he visited the was it called Nnamdi Kanu in prison. I was reading the comment section. I saw one troubling comment, and the person stated, this will be the last time you will become the governor of Abia State, that I will ensure that you will never become the governor of Abia State. You will not run the second time. And it was quite troubling, because I mean, a lot of people in Abia State are happy with the good work he's doing in Abia State. Why will somebody, a reasonable human being, come out in the open to make such a comment or a statement about the governor? So you could equally say that there's possibility. Yes.
So you think this was a personally targeted attack?
Yes, there's possibility. Exactly, there's a possibility that is targeted at him because he is supporting Nnamdi Kanu.
All right. Now, do you have a different view to that as a result to insecurity, especially moving from the north to the southeast?
Yeah, completely different. We don't have the details. I can't say whether it was a personal attack or whatever it was, but one thing is clear, that this insecurity is also moving into the southern states. We saw the other day the attack on former Governor Chris Nkige's convoy, and today Alex Oti. And what from the extremists in the north, people like Bashir Ahmad, what you'll be saying now is that you should not be calling them unknown gunmen, that you should call them terrorists. That is what they are.
It's as though we have a terminology. In the southeast, we call them unknown gunmen, then in the north, we call them bandits.
See? So, what I don't know whether it was a personal attack or not, but one thing I do know is that attacks should be condemned wherever it happens, whether it is personally motivated or it is just a terrorist group. And in the southeast, we know in the north, what we are, the issues we are facing there is that of the bandits and terrorists attacking and kidnapping people. In the southeast, it is very clear. The only terrorist group and organization we have is the IPOB. That is it. Some of the people who are marauding as IPOB members, because I think they had something like the Eastern Security Network before, and even though they said it was for a good cause, we know that in every group there must be some people who will not continue the good cause and people who will fall out and begin to do the wrong thing. So I think that was one of the issues we had in the southeast regarding the Eastern Security Network and the IPOB. We now have some people who went into kidnapping and other different things. So that is condemnable, and this is time for South, because the president will not come down to the southeast and do it for, even though he is the president of the whole federation. So I am calling on the southeastern governors to work with the federal government to bring peace
to purge the bandits and the unknown gunmen. Now let's also take a look at the fresh targets. We are seeing more targeted attacks at high profile men, especially in the government and politicians right now, from Chris Ngige now to Alex Oti. Do you think that these bandits or known gunmen or terrorists, whatever you feel comfortable calling them, do you think that they have gotten, they've been emboldened now to target high profile individuals in Nigeria?
When I remember one statement of El Rafai, he said that a repentant terrorist is a dead one. So that we are not supposed to be patting these people at the back. We are supposed to eliminate them, instantly. And because of the fact that we keep negotiating with them, because of the fact that we are using non-kinetic approach, you could see how they are being emboldened to carry more atrocities. You understand? So it's because of the fact that, maybe they have already tried citizens and maybe they are getting tired, they are not getting enough money. They said, okay, I think it's time for us to look at the big fishes. And if you hear from Nigerians will tell you, I think it's time for these people to start feeling what the average Nigerians are feeling when their family members, their mothers or their fathers are being plunged into a lot of pain and agony. So it's high time for these people to feel directly what we are feeling, so that they could actually take the right action to stop insecurity. So
now it means that everybody has to have a taste of the national cake, because it seems that for so long a particular group of people have been unable to actually share in the national cake when it concerns banditry, insecurity, terrorism, kidnapping and abductions. Now finally, Mr. Ogochukwu, what do you think this says about the government's broader ability to not just protect its people, its residents, but also its officials?
I will say it time and time again that this problem we are having now is as a result of the inefficiency of the government, because these are some of the issues. In fact, this present government, or some of this is happening now, they caused it. And they are facing the repercussions now. Remember sometime in 2011, even up to 2014, when they were feeding this, inciting violence, trying to squash the Jonathan's administration. So this is as a result of, incompetence in leadership. That is the reason why Nigerians continue to face these issues every day. I think I saw a post from Mr. P2B on X, and honestly, the post really resonated with me. What he talked about. It is the problem we have in Nigeria is nothing more than a failure of leadership. It is, because you don't expect God to come down from heaven and solve the problems you have. That is why there are leaders there, constituted authorities, did I say conceited? But conceited authorities who are supposed to solve these issues we have.
All right.
So they have failed woefully, and that is the reason why it's spreading throughout Nigeria from the north to the southeast. And who knows, tomorrow it might be you. So everybody should stay safe out there. And we continue to call on the government because it is their responsibility to protect the lives of their citizens.
As a sovereign nation, it is the responsibility of the government to cater to not just the needs of its people, but to ensure and look into their security as well. And over here at Active Citizens would continue to do just that, calling on the appropriate authorities to look into security and insecurity issues that has bedeviled our nation. But for now, this is what we're going to call it a wrap on the show. My name is Sharon Chuku, and I was your host for this evening. I was joined in the studio by my co-host and person of Ifoma Oji. Thank you once again for joining, and Mr. Ugochukwu Afuba. Thank you again for joining. Now, to our viewers, if you're watching for the first time, this is Active Citizens Parliament, and if you're yet to subscribe to our YouTube, this would be the best time to do that, and follow us across all social media at Active Citizens. You can find me as well across all social media at Sharon Chuku and Jirifoma.
You can find me on Facebook at Oji Sophia and on Instagram at Mr.
Mr. Ugochukwu.
You can find me on Instagram, Facebook, and X at Ugochukwu Afuba.
All right, till we come your way tomorrow, do have a good evening.